Well, hello friends, Paul here at the ranch. Recently I had a video that was taken down, and I guess in some ways I violated some practices. I've gone through and read as best I can understand the policy surrounding firearms. I'm not in any way, today's video is strictly on how to properly and safely clean a firearm, in this case a bolt rifle, a traditional bolt rifle. I'm not in any way advocating the sale of a gun. I'm not using any kind of high capacity or banned magazine structures and or illegal attachments. I'm simply going through and cleaning a firearm, and hopefully it's something that if you pick up any tips in terms of how to properly clean a firearm, have at it. Everything that I have, I purchased myself, and so the solvents that we're going to use, I'm a pretty big fan of Ballistol, so we'll use Ballistol. I've also talked about how much I like Lucas oil products. We're going to use Lucas oil and Lucas's gun grease for this particular cleaning. We have the appropriate size patches for a 6mm or 243. Today we're going to be cleaning the Bergara B14 rifle that I shot the other day. I talked before about my favorability towards Dewey rods. I think the ball bearings are fantastic, and they really help protect the rifling in your rifle. A couple other specialty things are, this is a cleaning product that I got years ago from Midway USA. It actually helps get some of the stuff and wear and fouling that you find in the action of the gun itself. We'll also be using a bore guide, which I think is important to have. That again protects the crown of your rifling. We're going to be using a standard soft bristle brush. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight for very, very, very inexpensive. And then we'll have appropriate size jags, in this particular case for a 6mm 243. I like the stiff nylon brushes, and then appropriate size jags. With that, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, again, we're face this way. We have an unloaded firearm, and again, there's no ammunition anywhere near this firearms area, so we're going to be doing this in a very safe environment. I always like using a vise. It helps me to have like kind of a third set of hands when I'm doing a cleaning of a firearm. So with that, the first thing we'll do is we'll take this specialty tool and clean inside the channel of the bolt itself and against the breech face of the bolt. And that should be able to get some, and you'll see a fair amount of condensation and fouling that we take out from that process. And we'll put that here. Then we're going to take our bore guide, and the beauty of this bore guide is it can be set for a long or short action. It can be set for a right-handed or a left-handed. In this particular rifle is a right-handed action, and we set it in there at the appropriate size, and it locks against the bolt. Just make sure we're tighten that chuck. And then I will take my nylon brush again for the 6mm, and we'll get it nice and we'll use our Dewey rod, and I like to make about 4 passes. Now, why do we want to clean our firearms after every time we shoot? I think in my mind, there's two big reasons why cleaning of a firearm is so important. One, you're going to get consistent performance shot to shot. In this particular instance, this rifle shoots about 1.25 inches at 150 yards, slightly below MOA, consistently. And I think properly cleaning a firearm each and every time makes it the tolerance from the time you pick up a rifle in hunting season or in off season when you're sighting in, you're going to get consistent performance. The other thing is it allows you to have your guns always prepared, and they last. I have, my first shotgun my dad gave me was an Ithaca Featherlight. I got when I was about 15, 16 years old. And I've been able to maintain that gun so that if you saw it today, you'd say it's in pristine shape. And that's because I believe wholeheartedly in cleaning and taking care of your firearms. So that would be the second reason. Now we're going to take one of these little cotton patches, and we're going to run one through. And this will be a dry patch because we already have the ballistol in there. And I'm going to show you. There's quite a bit of fouling that we see on that first patch. So quite a bit of fouling came through on that first patch. We'll put through another. And we really, these can be kind of dry patches because there's plenty of ballistol in the action of the gun itself. And that second patch through, I would say, is about half of what we saw on the first one in terms of fouling that came out. Now this next patch I'm going to put through, I'm actually going to put a little ballistol on it just to make sure. And go through, and that came out real nice. And I would say we're about maybe 3 patches away from the way I like to put them away. Now if I'm going to put a gun away for the season, let's say it's the end of the hunting season or the end of you're done sighting in your gun or what have you, and your gun's going to be sitting idle for a few months. What I like to do is put a couple drops of oil on that last patch, and that'll ensure that if there is any moisture or whatever, it'll definitely help preserve that barrel. And you'll find that just that little bit of oil makes a lot of difference in terms of trying to keep your gun always ready to go come the hunting season. So this is that last patch that I'm going to do, and I'm just going to put a couple small drops of Lucas gun oil on that patch. And once I go down it, this will be the last step in terms of getting that barrel ready for the season. So that barrel is ready and clean and ready to go. Now what I like to do is just take a gun rag, make sure the end there's no residue coming out. I'll eliminate my bore guide and take that out, and now I'll turn my attention to the bolt itself. So what I like to do with the bolt in particular is first I like to do is clean off the face of the bolt and make sure there's nothing. Now I only shot this rifle probably 6-7 times, so there's not that much there. The other thing I like to utilize in this is use Q-tips to get in here and take any fouling out of that ejector and just make sure that everything in there is nice and clean. Just one more, and that looks real good. Then I'll take my Lucas gun grease and I'll make sure that I liberally kind of put it on the bolt itself. And the reason I do that is it really preserves the bolt, but it also helps to make sure whether it's in extremely hot or cold weather, that the bolt is actually able to be manipulated really easily and slides very efficiently in the bolt action. So with that, we'll go to put it back in the action, and you'll see that the bolt just slides right down, and it's really, work that Lucas gun grease in, and we are good to go. So that's really all it does and all it takes to properly clean a firearm and keep it consistent. I guess again, the two main reasons why we want to do this: we want to have consistent performance in our firearms when we pull them out, whether we're shooting targets out on a gun range or we're going to hunting season. And then the second is we want to preserve them for time. We want to make sure that they hold up over time. Like I said, I have many guns that are, decades old, but if you saw them, they're in really good shape because I do clean them quite often and make sure that they are, functional and operational. With that, be safe out there. God bless you, and thanks for watching. We really appreciate it.